It's unmuted, Diane.
Sir,
Behave yourselves.
What'd you say? Hi, David.
Hey,
Hi, Joey.
And now I'm doing the same. Kirk, I don't know who's.
that's me, Bill. How you doing?
He said, great, sir.
What's up, Ian?
All right.
Okay.
I was drove home.
All right, we can start, Chris.
Great.
We can start. We're waiting on you, man.
What else?
Who's that?
Asking for that. That's my. That's one of my problems.
First name tag for me.
Josh, they're order.
Yeah, leave me on that one.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
What are y'all doing? You don't like it?
$7.
Let me just say, yeah, roll. It's right.
Like me, she's gotta have a long.
That's-
If that-
It's administrative. Yeah, but it's still like, I charge them. Seriously, somebody can say that.
Just don't say anything.
That's the plan.
Say nothing.
All swamp.
I won't make the motion. I won't make it. Better charge it. Joey making second.
Well,
Alright.
she and I need extra space for names.
I mean, you can't veto it. I don't, you don't need it.
Don't get along.
It's a pain in the butt. I'm.
Which one of us have more letters?
Then they fake use them because.
You need name change.
Like they,
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean,
It's a pain in the butt. I don't want.
is there a charge?
Pull my truck in there now.
But here's a funny one. So some of them have been rude.
Some high voltage, they catch fire.
An SVP that parks our department.
I mean, it's hot.
We hired that parking police, you know? Well, there's an SVP that pulled. And put a ticket on his window trying to.
be fine.
Didn't go over very well. They're going right today. It's like,
It's letters in there.
so nobody really paid attention that he.
Is there-
Yeah. I didn't get that.
My dad had a little person scuttle.
It
You know, the right thing to do is. Park there. He goes, well, right, just have them work it, so I can use them.
Heard anything?
Become apartments.
Integrity first. So it's all fun out of it.
Dude, I
Only when it's, the only when it's charged.
I could charge my car for free. I'd do that.
It's a trickle. You gotta be there for 6 weeks for it. But man, it's a. Great side. And fast.
She's on the same size as Alan. I don't think she has any more.
I know, but it's not a, it's not a, it's a slow trip.
Sam,
You got guys that work them, they're all day long and get like 5.
and the problem.
Wasn't that?
And I'd like to add a little smiley face.
Charger or the battery?
No, the battery is.
See, that's why I like mine. I can draw. I'll move it ever in the-
Say,
We bought many a Teslas.
Yep.
tell me which ones. I'm gonna buy a cheap Tesla and just go look at it.
I had a truck that there.
Yeah. Got the lift.
I had the extender, mileage extender and everything on that truck.
Blow fire.
Oh. You.
Well, thank you.
Mechanic that worked my boat. You know. Seen him just fire melt.
All right, y'all ready? Off mute or whatever.
Yes.
And we're gonna get started this evening with the City of Centerton Planning Commission, September 2nd, 2025, with a roll call.
Sci-Fi. Joey Engel.
Here.
Tony Davis. Craig Langford.
Here.
Ben Lewis. Devin Murphy.
Here.
Curtis Ramsey.
Here.
John Sessoms.
Here.
Brandon Swoboda.
Here.
All right, first thing on the agenda this evening is the approval of the minutes from our meeting 2025.
John, I motion to approve the minutes from 8/19/25.
Oh, yeah, second.
Second, is anyone opposed? All right, under the ratification of the admin approvals, we have two. One is the MSI 2503 for the Walmart Neighborhood Market EV charging stations. And the second is MSI 2505 on the watercolor apartment from Amazon Lockers. Any questions or comments from any of the staff or commissioners on either of those? If not, then I would entertain a motion for the ratification of the admin approvals.
This has been on motion to approve the admin approvals.
Tony, I second.
Motion and a second. Is anyone opposed? Under old business, first thing on the agenda, or the only thing on the agenda, is a tabled item, Development 2504, the Goodwill waiver request for 15.08 acres. And so I would entertain a motion to bring this back to the table.
It's John, a motion to bring Forest Development 2504 table.
Second.
Motion and a second. Is anyone opposed? Tara, do you want to give us some update?
Yes, in your guys' packet, you'll have a withdrawal request directly from the engineer. And we're able to change the way that the building was laid out and not have to need the waiver request anymore. So.
It looks good.
It does. It does look really good.
Good idea.
So we'll be moving forward, getting us new plans with updating the grading and everything like that. So he's currently working on that behind the scenes, but he wanted to just let us know he won't need the waiver request anymore. So actually withdrawn.
So nothing on our part.
Nothing.
Way to go. All right, under new business this evening, we have, first will be a public hearing. And this is for, rezone 2507 zoning map updates, RTHD to RTH2 and RTHMF to RTH5, including in there some various parcels. Diane, you like to walk us through this?
Yes, we are updating the zoning map. This is not changing the Title 14 zoning code. We are just looking to align the zoning map for what's actually on the ground and how the property is being used. And back in 2021, the R3 zoning district was divided into the three new categories. The R3 medium high density single family, the R3SF, R3D with duplex, and R3MF, which of course used to be the high density like apartment zoning, but now it's multifamily up to 4 units attached, and added the R4 multifamily district. And previously we just kind of looked at the map and decided what areas, especially that were already built out, should be each designation. Well, then we've gone back and looked and went, well, we have some that really don't match what they did at that point in time. So we've gone back and updated those. And of course, in 2023, we renamed the RTH districts from RTH MF 12 to RTH and RTHD to the new residential townhome 5, which is up to 5 units attached, and the RTH2, which is the duplex type for the townhouse zoning. And they were never updated on the map at that point in time, so we're going back through and just updating them on the map. Again, doesn't change anything in the Title 14 zoning code. We did send all of the property owners affected by this rezone by certified mail, and it all went out 15 days prior to the hearing. All the public hearing requirements were completed, and we really didn't have any comments from the public. We just had a couple of questions for people, you know, is this going to increase our property taxes? They were told, no, they were not. Is it going to change? I can use my property? No, it's not changing the use of their property. So, and since there's kind of a whole bunch of different ones, what I went through and did is, of course, this is the overall zoning map. And we've numbered each of them on here as far as which one we talk about. And the first one that we have on here is West End Acres. And when it was annexed from Benton County back in whatever year that was, it was brought in as A1. But all of the recorded plat shows all of the setbacks and everything as R1, so that was an easy, simple change on that one. And I did include in y'all's packet what the code is for the residential R1, so that way you have it for reference if you have any questions on that one. Again, it's not changing anything. It was platted as R1 when it was platted. So their lot sizes, lot width, setbacks, everything remains the same. It's gonna change just to be the correct designation for what's actually there on the ground. And then the second one, again, these are the ones that I mentioned that when the RTH MF was changed and the RTH D were changed, they just were not changed on the map. We have one that developed, it is the Crystal Cove phases 1 through 3. Again, it's not gonna change anything on their recorded plat unless they come in and want to replat it to the new RTH5 designations. But as of right now, the recorded plat and what is there does not make any changes. We have another property that also, the OptiChain development, which I didn't circle that one on here, but it is right here. That's changing to the RTH2. And again, it is not developed, and the subdivision that has since expired, but they did have approval. It was for RTH duplex, so it's gone to RTH2. Again, everyone was notified, and any of the subdivisions appear that we do have preliminary plats for. Anything that you guys have approved, I mean, will remain still approved. It won't change anything unless they choose to change something, but I believe the other ones do all meet the RTH5 standards. Then we have, pardon me as I flip through all my pages over here, Bliss Street Twin Homes. I love when you touch something on your computer and it just moves. It's not my friend. I have this all laid out so perfect. The Bliss Street Twin Homes, the only thing changing is just the designation from the RTHD to RH2. So no changes are going to be made to that one other than just the title and how it's shown on the map. And then the ARC townhomes on commercial, these we determined, we talked to Robbie, and they are actually constructed to be sold individually. So they are just also changing from the RTH MF that they were existing to the RTH 5. So again, just that's the only thing changing on that one. Then we have the Copper Oak subdivision, which that one has existed for a long time. And when they were constructed where they're just a regular duplex, so they cannot be sold individually. They have to be sold together because they don't have the correct fire suppression requirements and things like that. Now, some of them at one point in time were split. Don't know how, because they're not constructed that way. So that one is changing from RTHD, which is a designation where they could be sold separately, to the R3D, which would be correct, where they can't be sold separately. They're actually a duplex, so they come as a package deal. We did get a couple of questions on that one. But again, I told them, I said, it's not changing how you're using it. You just can't sell one side to someone else. And then Willow Crossing townhomes. This one, they were not constructed to be sold separately, even though they were the RTH MF designation. So we are changing that one to the R3 MF. So that way they can't be sold individually. They are 5 units. They're all attached and cannot be sold separately. So that's the update on that one. And then we did notice on Woodcrest Walk, when we were talking about that one the other day, that they do have one lot that when it was platted as multifamily, which again, that was our actual apartment type designation. So that one, we are reverting to the R4MF since that is the one that it was supposed to have been. They already have it platted back up here up to it, where you can look at what they have. They do have the correct setbacks for the R4 multifamily for 1-story units and up to just 4-plex. So with this lot, there's really nothing they could do without going through and replanning to change setbacks, to have room to do anything other than what was already approved on that lot. So like I said, that one is not going to increase the density because nothing else is going to be able to fit on that size lot with the required setbacks. So that's what we're doing. If y'all have any questions, need further information, let me know. Like I said, it's a rezone, but it's just to the map and not.
Formal reason?
Hmm.
So all the
have
property
to
maps are
update.
signed?
It's done by the city, so we don't have to have the property owner sign, but they do all have to be notified by certified mail. So that was a lot to send out. They were not happy with this at the post office because there were.
I saw there's a few comments in here. Did anybody object or?
No, they just wanted clarification. Nobody objected. It was just clarification. Hey, the biggest question people had, is this gonna increase my property taxes? I was like, no, they look at now, if you were to suddenly go from, even if it's rezoned, not unless you build, like a commercial Walmart or something there. That's the only time it would change your property taxes.
Any other questions or comments from any of the commissioners before we open it up to the public? And I would, excuse me, entertain a motion to open the public hearing.
This is Craig. I'll make a motion to open the public hearing for rezone 2507.
John, second.
Motion and a second. Is there anyone that's opposed? We are now open to the public. If anyone wishes to speak, have any questions or comments in regards to rezone 2507 with the zoning map updates as listed, we'd ask that you come to the podium, state your name, address, and any questions or comments you might have.
Yes.
Sir, yeah, just come up here and state your name and address and then a question or comment.
Sir, my name is Ravi Dadi and I am from 4401 Southwest Hollowbrook, Bentonville. So my question is, in this plat, so whoever is the buyer, can they build as it shows in the map, can they build 4-plex, 4-plex, 4-plex and 3-plex, or anything changes with the new rezoning process?
The rezoning process would not change because this is what was planned and this was our R3M at that point in time was like our apartment type one where you could have multiple multifamily structures on one lot. So this is ensuring that it can remain in that type use since that's what was.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments from anyone that wishes to speak? Have any questions or comments? And third and final call for anyone that wishes to speak on rezone 2507. And with that, I would entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
Joey, I'll make a motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
Motion and a second. Is there anyone that's opposed? If there are no additional questions or comments from any of the commissioners or staff, then I would entertain a motion for rezone 2507 for the zoning map updates as presented.
Jeff had. Thought of. On the commercial street townhomes.
Huh.
What are they going to?
They are going from RTH MF to RTH 5.
Okay, on our sheets in the packets, it says something different. That's why I want to make sure that
One
it says R3 MF.
on the commercial street.
Mm-hmm.
Folks. The Art Townhomes on commercial,
Mm-hmm.
RTH MF 12 to RTH 5.
I think what he's saying is on the overview here.
Oh, because
Yeah.
it was changed since
Okay.
that originally went out.
Good. I was just
We
making
talked
sure.
to Robbie and he said, yes, those are actually built when they can be sold. And I also neglected to mention that the ARC,
Gamble?
it's on Gamble, that was going to R3 single family, because we did notice, especially when we were working on the rezone for the property next to the Church of Latter-day Saints. I know a couple of you questioned, why is this one multifamily? It's really not, because they are single family.
Good.
That even though they're a one lot, that's not technically how it worked, but they are single family homes. They are not
So
attached to multifamily.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
And then on Woodcrest,
uh-huh.
you showed the one on the east side of that kind of main street.
Hmm.
Does the same thing apply on the
No,
west?
just that one side, just lot 5.
Two over there. There's two other lots that are R3 MF. They can only fit one building. If it went to R4 and they wanted more than 4, the lot's too small for those kinds of setbacks.
This one shows it a little bit better. Here's the street that divides.
Yeah.
And this one will just remain
There's two.
the R3 MF, right? So just lot 5.
I drive off that every day, so I know, and I'm like, wait a second.
all right.
It's just that one lot.
Sure.
If there's no additional questions or comments, then I would entertain a motion for rezone 2507.
It's John, I motion to approve, the rezone 2507.
It's Craig, I'll second.
Motion and a second. If you'll do a roll call vote for me, please.
Ramsey,
Rezone 2507.
Oh, yeah. I thought we were closing it and
John Sessoms,
Yes.
Devin Murphy,
Yes.
Craig Langford,
Yes.
Ben Lewis, Tony Davis, Joey Engel,
yes.
Brandon Swoboda,
Yes.
Jeff Seifert.
Yes. Thanks for all the work.
Here it'll go to city council.
Okay.
Next week.
Thanks for all the work, Diane, and I'm sure there were some other people that helped out.
Yes. Thankfully, we see if people helping to do.
Is this because we got really stuck on the property last time we looked at it?
Yes, that was part of it. And when we looked at it, we went, we have a bunch of other stuff that we just need to align and
Color's good
clean
now?
up. All y'all's fault that we had to do the extra work, so it needed
Well,
to.
it made it confusing that day.
I know. So
But we're
hopefully,
gonna have charts in our rezone PC reports now. It's a whole thing, so.
yes.
Just be prepared. We're gonna get
Once the colors are good, we're.
better.
It's still not gonna help you guys out with the medium high issue with zoning and blade juice, but at least make the zoning clear.
Yeah.
Next on the agenda is subdivision 2404 Silver Dreams. Preliminary plat and plans and adjacent street agreement. This is at the northeast corner of Brookside Road and South Main Street. It is zoned R3 single family, 39 buildable lots, 10.03 acres. How are you tonight, sir?
I'm doing good. This is Jake Chapis with Odyssey Engineering. I'm here to answer any questions that you have, but I actually believe it's 38 lots on 10 acres.
38. Sarah, do you agree, disagree?
Uh-oh.
38 plus the unbuildable tract?
That's where the 39 comes in.
Yeah. For 38 numbered lots.
This does say 39 single family buildable lots. But,
Yeah.
okay. Jake, I know when this first came through. And it looks like your electric layout still shows it, the drive changed, right?
Yeah, so we approached this planning commission 2 or 3 months ago, to see how you all would feel about requesting a variance, from driveway separation. The driveway separation was the southern drive, it's the access onto, Brookside. Essentially, there was a development within the city of Bentonville, which is across the street, that kind of lined up their driveway before we were able to get our subdivision approved through you guys. And that resulted in the loss of a lot for us. So we approached you guys asking if you would be okay with the variance request from driveway separation to essentially align our driveway closer to our eastern property line. And ultimately you guys said, no, we really wouldn't support this. We are aligning with what your city engineer had said, which is he doesn't necessarily feel that would be the safest path here. So we amended our subdivision plans to get this thing approved.
Sarah, would you like to give us a staff overview?
Yes, it is 38 lots because of the loss of the lot. It was just from the last time. Sorry about
So
that.
they had to move that drive, it lost a lot.
Yeah.
Right there in the middle.
Okay, so this is the Silver Dream subdivision zoned R3 SF, which is the medium high density residential. It's 38 single family lots and one unbuildable lot, and it's now estimated about 3.8 units per acre on 10.03 acres. And it is on the corner of Brookside and South Main Street. The right of way that they'll be dedicating, there's no dedication of right of way for this one because there is already existing right of way for South Main and Brookside, and it's 45 feet for South Main and 40 feet existing for Brookside. And there's no phasing proposed. The applicant's proposing a subdivision that consists of 38 single-family lots located on the northeast corner of Brookside and South Main Street. The properties directly north and east of the site are undeveloped agricultural lands. Further east is the Weather Guard installation and the Benton County Solid Waste, which are zoned industrial. And to the south is the Mallard Meadows subdivision, which is within the Bentonville city limits. To the west across South Main Street is the Hilldale subdivision. There are no existing structures on site. The zoning is R3 SF. The zoning is intended for detached single-family dwellings with suitable lot areas. The minimum lot area for R3 SF is 6,000 and the minimum lot width is 60 feet, and the setbacks are listed in your packet for you. Like I stated before, directly north and east is agriculture, and then further east is Weather Guard and the Solid Waste District. One is light industrial, the other is heavy. To the south is the Mallard Meadows, which is zoned R2 per Bentonville. And it contains duplexes and patio homes at a density of 9.5 units per acre. And then across the street on South Main Street to the west is the Hilldale subdivision, which is R3 SF, and it has a density of 3.5 units per acre. Centerton Water is available along Brookside, running east to west and extends north at the intersection of South Main Street and Brookside. Sanitary sewer service is available across South Main Street and along the rear property lines of the Hilldale subdivision. For floodplain and wetlands, a portion of this property is located within the designated flood zone A and AE as determined by the National Flood Insurance Program flood insurance rate map. For drainage, the proposed development will utilize an on-site detention system for stormwater management. Water will flow into the pre-treatment basin at the northeast corner before draining southeast through a designated flood zone. The drainage plan complies with the local regulations and mitigates potential flooding impacts. A flood impact analysis confirmed compliance upstream of the floodplain, though no detention is planned beyond that. A flood permit is required, including an exhibit with an engineer's note verifying no impact on the floodplain. For PC consideration, the applicant is proposing a 20-foot wide open channel in the rear of lots 27 through 33, contained within a 20-foot drainage easement. For the Centerton drainage manual, it would not be considered a tertiary swell as it's deeper than 6 inches and it crosses property lines that do not run parallel to side property lines. For the drainage manual, open channels are discouraged in development, but may be allowed at the discretion and approval of the planning commission. Additionally, per the drainage manual, a 10-foot maintenance access easement is required, but is not currently shown. For the adjacent street agreement and access, this property does have access from both South Main Street and Brookside Road. Brookside is designated as a minor collector with a planned right-of-way of 80 feet per the master street plan, and no additional right-of-way is required. The right-of-way has already been dedicated to previous plats. Per the master trails plan, a shared 10-foot paved trail is proposed along Brookside. Street trees are proposed along the Brookside frontage, and the applicant is proposing a turning lane starting at the intersection of Brookside and South Main to 100 feet east, then transitions another 100 feet to the typical street section. A variable with widening of pavement with a 2-foot curb and gutter and pavement that will total 2 total lanes with a left turn lane. South Main Street is designated as a minor arterial with a planned right-of-way of 90 feet. No additional right-of-way is required as right-of-way has already been dedicated per previous plats, and the applicant's proposing variable with widening of pavement with a 2-foot curb and gutter and pavement totaling 2.5 lanes. I believe at this time, the adjacent street agreement is approved. I'll triple check that, but I think it is approved by staff. Street trees are proposed along Brookside and South Main Street and placed in the green space between the curb and gutter. Staff does recommend the approval of the landscaping plan. Lighting is proposed throughout the subdivision along the frontage of South Main and every 300 feet. Staff recommends the approval of the location of streetlights within and around the subdivision, and there are minor outstanding comments. If you have questions, let me know.
We talk about the drainage, hopefully this one's cool. On the Northwest Drive, that intersection, there's a crossing there. Is that a controlled?
So there's a what?
There's a pedestrian crossing, north-south.
Here?
Go to, right to the east, just a little bit.
Yep.
Right there, you got the ramps. It's like it goes north. Is that a stop sign there?
There is a stop sign there.
There's a stop sign and a street.
Talking about east and west.
Oh.
Are we good with that?
Policy and facility traffic, yeah, it's just allowing people to to cross. It's in a 20 mile per hour zone where with visibility where it's not gonna matter.
Any thoughts on the 20-foot wide open channel in the rear of the lots?
Deep is it, Jake? I'm trying to get to the green.
I don't remember.
6 inches. Less than 6 inches,
Yeah.
outstanding water.
I'm talking about the actual swale. 1, 2, 3, 3.5.
Yeah. At the deepest point.
That's to provide cover for the inlet pipe. The rest of it's under 2 feet or at 2 feet.
I mean, all it's really gathering water is gonna be on those specific lots, and most of that will drain to the street anyway. Really just a means to keep people.
Drains the backyard, right?
Yeah.
And what it keeps is people from, they done in the past where they build gardens in their backyard
Oh, yeah.
where it blocks flow. This prevents them from having the right to do that to where it would then impact other neighboring lots.
What prevents them from doing that?
If they.
This big swale?
No, having it be a drainage easement, that if you call it out as one for the drainage, that if they do that and they cause a problem on the neighboring lots, they are liable for all damages and have to fix it.
Fencing, because people are gonna.
Yeah, that's funny.
To the property line.
Are you gonna restrict fencing outside of the drainage easement?
No. In the drainage easement, fences have to be 3 inches above, which for the most part covers all the flow for the design on this. Recommendations to shift it so it's on one property line. The full 20 feet on the north side or the south side, which affects the setbacks. But they'd rather keep it centered on it. The fence would be in the low spot.
I can see that getting nasty, but it's kind of a private matter. You said 3 inches?
We're talking an insignificant amount of water here.
Oh, I got you. What are you gonna do where it's 3 feet? Just straight across it?
Yeah, I mean, it's just 3 feet of depth there. It's,
I know, but your fence is gonna be up here and your ground's gonna go like that, right?
say that one more time.
Okay, so your fence is gonna be straight and you're gonna have a 3-foot deep swale? Or are you gonna take it down the swale and bring it?
Well, that 3 feet is over 20 feet.
Yeah.
6 foot slope, so I mean, over 20 feet, so that's from you to me.
You still got a dip though.
No, you,
And well, who enforces, this is a better question. Who enforces the 3 inches?
That gets put in, we don't have a fencing permit. So it's when they install, it's on the home builder to follow that.
We noted on the plat, that's about all.
Yeah.
So
We'll read that.
there's that.
I have a dog, I'd be like,
Do that.
Yeah.
We'll see him back here in 2 years.
If they build it that way, they'll extend it down and get the dog in the backyard.
Yeah, I mean, that was
Out there with chicken wire and some brick and everything else to fill it in.
I guess the bigger question is anyone opposed to them doing that since it's for our consideration?
what's the alternative, I guess?
pipe it.
You just have area inlets, but never in various backyards.
You could, or you could, yeah.
That's my only thing is even if they put the fence and leave it 3 feet off the ground, you're gonna end up with that guy that doesn't ever.
So with those, like I said, it's majority of those are only 2 foot and it's over 12 feet. To where the only spots where it's right at the end, so you can provide the cover over the pipe. And that one, they'll install the fence around that.
What pipe are you talking about?
Right there at the end, you can see where it's going to end, where the ditch is at worst, is one on.
I was looking at the northern lot line. We're talking about in the middle of the block. Gotcha.
There is actually one, Curtis, in the city that I'm aware of that needed to be corrected. And I guess it was resolved over a period of time before we put some new language in place.
I don't know that I don't think I'm worried about it. I could see an issue later on if somebody neglects their backyard or something, that getting clogged up and that just pushing against the posts and eventually clogging that whole swell. But if we can enforce that, oh, well,
It can be built that way, but you can't enforce it after the fact. So that's the problem.
What's the code say? It doesn't allow for it, except,
Oh, it just says store or above ground swales are discouraged, but can be approved. And the above ground discharge is the easiest way to control it, where you're not worried about flooding at inlets and having rear yard drains in backyards, where you're digging up pipes between underneath stuff people are putting in. It's all just above ground swales where it flows, where it's known where it's going. It's much easier to see it, less maintenance for the city.
but we have the same problem on the northern property line too, right?
Northern property lines at that same depth, 3 feet over. 20 feet wide.
There's no pipe picking it up, so it just hits that hill.
Hits the hill and goes down, right?
What are you doing anything for like stabilization out there, Jake?
I don't think so. I don't, yeah. I mean, essentially, we're just, there's some offsite runoff that's coming to the south. We're just channeling it and putting it in directly into the floodplain.
Channeling it is the issue.
I mean, again, there's really not a whole lot of water coming there. The intent there is, so that way it doesn't flow in people's backyards.
Yeah.
Any other discussion on the swell? That's the only thing that you need our input on, right, Tara?
It's just in the drainage manual, it's up to you guys to approve those.
Nobody spoke out that they were opposed.
I don't know, for the record, I don't like it. Is it-
I don't see
I
alternative.
don't like it. It's gonna be problematic because we all know there's gonna be fences. And
I think we're really overestimating the amount of water that's actually coming through both swells. I mean, it is,
you're taking in the middle, what I'm concerned about is the middle drainage swell. I mean, you're discharging water from the streets. Or-
no, it's going the other way. It's going from the yards into that pipe.
Just collecting the rear yards. To the middle between the two to the pipe.
Yeah.
That's going collecting into the street collections.
We just know it's gonna be problematic.
The drainage manual specifically says open channels are discouraged in developments, but may be allowed at the discretion and approval of the planning commission.
What's the rationale in this one? Why do we have to have the open channel? Just a cost measure?
Cause it doesn't make any sense to put a pipe in there.
And I understand, but you're not the one that has to have these people call you after they've been there for.
If I could sign something that guaranteed you nobody would call on these lots, I would. Because there is no offsite runoff run into this area. Everything's, they're interior lines
There was offsite coming over from the north, right?
on those barely in.
The topo magically cuts off there, so I don't know.
I mean, it follows almost the same as the popular line you see here. I mean, it just got in straight this way and straight this way. It's already kind of a channel.
Yeah.
channel through. And I use the word channel loosely.
Alan, what's the worst case scenario for the city?
On this one, there isn't one. It's that people call and say, hey, they're doing this, and if their neighbor built a garden that blocked that flow off. It's a civil matter for them to correct. If you turn around and try to put a pipe through here, are we then going in there? We have to rip out all these people's fences to replace a pipe.
We do it.
Once it's in that, it's part of the public drainage system. If we're putting that, if they're putting into a public easement, we'd have to dedicate it separate as a private easement owned by the POA, and have the POA do all that. And that's just way more task for them too, compared to keeping it as an open swale that's gonna have under 6 inches of water flowing through it.
So this exact scenario exists in the neighborhood I live in. Luckily, I'm at the top of it. Everything flows south from my house. So my yard stays fine, but my neighbor right next door, I know their backyard floods and gets within 10 feet from the house. And it has to do with the vegetation that's grown up and the fences that I know my fence used to be about that far off the ground, but now it's kind of buried about 1/2 inch in the ground. So it's gonna flood. It's not, and my yard's flat. There's no hill there. This is a hill.
From you is what.
These middle lots here are sitting on top and they are up higher than the street all the way around. There is nothing else coming onto those interior lots.
If it fails, it drains to the road. That is true.
Drainage manual does also say that all open channels shall be within a public drainage easement.
Says what?
Public drainage, it can't be private, the way on.
The public,
So if it fails, it's on the city to fix it.
not
If it's public, gets it in unless it's POA
for
on
the public, but we don't own that land to go and maintain that. We wouldn't go and do.
Right.
Have an easement.
it. Have an
We have a right to go in and access if we have to, but we don't own it. It's not on us to fix it.
What about maintaining?
On the property owners.
That's on all easements.
Yeah.
This one,
But this one's different. I mean, because this one has an impact. I mean, I'm not saying every yard doesn't have an impact, but this is gonna be behind your fence and we're relying on it. Whether there's
no,
any,
I see the
not,
fence going.
That's gonna be right in the middle.
Right down the middle of it.
Not behind the fence,
I have to-
between the fence.
One piece with,
I mean. So there's a chance it could grow, right? I mean, not work, or I'm just asking questions because I know we had to deal with the one. It could be the one that Curtis lives in. I don't know.
I mean, with this one, you look at how these are designed to where they're grounds like that. It's a usable area. It's not like it's unusable area where it's a ditch or in the back or a giant hole where it's dropping 2 or 3 feet pretty quick. It's a gradual slope. So when they build that, it's gonna be sodded area, mobile, maintained area. The key is, yeah, when they build that fence, that when it's holding water, like, oh, this is a problem there. And that's where the only way to really make it better to where it's moving forward is you shift that whole thing 10 feet to the north, then it puts the whole 20 foot on one lot to where it's easier with just that person and doesn't affect both sides.
Stop the fences, but then you gotta mow in between it and keep that.
Yeah, cause then their property
That's
would
not
go
good.
down 2 feet, back up the 2 feet over full 20. So
There's no other way to designate it like a hard surface or anything like that, is there?
Put a concrete channel.
surface in the back there for the depth on what it is. You're putting a 10 foot or even 5 foot to do it in the back to where you'd be embedding posts in it for set fence. And the last thing you want to do is to offset it to where the fences are on the outside of that. So to maintain, you have to put a gate out there and mow that 10 foot. You're risking way more overgrowth, less maintenance and everything else.
No, I mean, I agree 100% with that, cause then you got, every other property on maintaining there, and they're calling the city on their neighbor because they're not maintaining their property. So, code enforcement issue, I understand that part. So you're not worried about the velocity of the water that's flowing down this drainage channel to erode the fence post? Intentionally, and fences falling in and all that stuff?
Volume rate and the slope on this, it's not gonna be enough to eat away at.
Any other questions or concerns from any of the commissioners? If not, then I would entertain a motion for the preliminary plat plans and the adjacent street agreement for 2404 Silver Dreams.
Is the agreement approved? So you're gonna look that up?
It is.
There's one minor comment left on it. Unless something's been updated since 8/11.
Building everything, right, Jake?
Sorry?
You're building everything on the street improvements? Yeah.
It's just, it wasn't anything like specification wise. I think it was like a grammatical. It's just a.
Yeah, we missed to mention easement.
You good?
I'm good.
This is Joey. I'll make a motion to approve subdivision 2404 Silver Dreams, as presented.
This is Craig, I'll second.
Motion in a second. Is there anyone that's opposed? I'm opposed. If you'll put that in the record, please. Thanks. Good luck.
I do have just a couple quick questions. Number one, and this may be more for staff, are you guys still allowing people to go ahead and continue construction at their own risk?
No, it'll go into, I don't know the specifications, cause I can send you an email with like how we have it set up, but, we'll start doing pre-construction meetings as you get ADH approval. So the second you guys submit to ADH, you have no outstanding comments left, and you get, ADH approval, and we get that from you, is when it'll start that process for pre-construction, but we still don't have sewer capacity, so. Just waiting for ADH to start releasing.
So no early grading permits either, and that's something that's changed relatively recently.
So the Cause you're talking, cause there were 4 that got to start without ADH approval. Those ones we allowed to start when we thought it was just a Centerton capacity issue, like there were some spots in our own system that needed to be upgraded. That was before we knew about the Decatur issue. So since the Decatur issue has come to light, we haven't let anybody else start construction.
So that was the first question. And the second one is, I've been trying to reach out to Malcolm to see an updated timeline. Do we have anything like that yet? I don't know what the latest word is.
As far as we know, everything should be complete by December 31st, and hopefully that will have Decatur's plant increased, and then ADH should start releasing approvals after that. That's all we know so far.
So early next year, we should have capacity again to resume. Okay, thank you.
Actually, yes.
But we know so far.
Throw it in there just in case.
All right, next on the agenda is Development 2409, the Reach Church, 5,000 square foot building expansion, preliminary plans and adjacent street agreement. This is at 900 West Centerton Boulevard. It is zoned C2 and it's 3 acres. How are you tonight?
Hi, good evening, everybody. My name is Anthony Ferreira with Sand Creek Engineering.
What was your name?
Anthony Ferreira. I do gotta say, this isn't my project. We had a little bit of a scheduling.
It start like that.
So I'm to try and answer as best as I can.
Jake's excuse. Go ahead, sorry.
So I'm here to answer any questions you all might have, as best as I can.
All right, Kayla?
Yes, so this property is located at 900 West Centerton Boulevard. It's the Reach Church. It's currently a 1-story building that has approximately 15,200 square feet of building. The applicant is proposing to add an additional 5,000 square foot building to the south side of the building for an additional classrooms and offices. It's located west of AutoZone, which is C2, west or east of Woodcrest Walk subdivision, which is R3 SF C2 and R3 MF. And now, as you guys saw with every zone, R4 MF pending. South of an undeveloped property zoned A1, which is also owned by Reach Church, and north of the South Fork subdivision, which is R3. So due to the proposed improvements of this development being on 2 parcels, including the drainage, this property owner will need to submit a lot combination to combine the 2 parcels into one. A lot combination application has already been submitted. This is C2, which is highway commercial, which is intended for those businesses which cater to the highway traffic, such as service stations, drive-in restaurants, motels, supermarkets, listed in your packet for you. This property is serviced by Centerton Water and Sewer. The water and sewer lines along the front of the property will be relocated to allow for the RDOT expansion of Highway 102. There's an exhibit of kind of where those lines are proposed to go. Those plans are still being worked out. I think this area is mostly solidified, but there are some areas still trying to work out. A portion of this property is located within the special flood zone or flood hazard zone A and regulatory floodway zone AE. This development will construct a water quality basin on the east side of the property to handle the runoff from the additional impervious area added to this expansion, including the addition of parking. The city engineer has approved the drainage plan and drainage report with the following comment remaining to be addressed on the construction plans. If you have questions, Alan is so happy to answer them for you. Centerton Boulevard is designated as a major arterial with a planned right-of-way of 100 feet per the master street plan. However, Centerton Boulevard is also an RDOT controlled road. This road is planned to be expanded by RDOT, so all improvements will be made at that time, including the addition of a 10-foot sidewalk. The developer is coordinating with RDOT to ensure all the required right-of-way is provided. I think they've already come through and acquired all the right-of-way needed. This project will provide a fee in lieu for the sidewalk along their property in the amount of $19,600. Staff has approved the proposed adjacent street agreement with the fee in lieu estimate. This development will provide a 24-foot access easement for the north property to maintain access to Centerton Boulevard. And then they'll provide a 20-foot access easement along the south side of the property to connect to the east and west properties in the future. For PC consideration, the applicant proposes to maintain the existing driveways onto Centerton Boulevard. However, with the planned RDOT expansion off of Highway 102, there is an opportunity to consolidate the curb cuts by reconfiguring access to this property. This would involve creating a single access point to align with Shane Drive and then possibly connect to AutoZone because they have a stub out to the east. This adjustment would reduce the number of curb cuts on Centerton Boulevard and eliminate potential turning conflicts, which would improve overall traffic safety and flow. When we brought this up early in concept for this addition, the owner was opposed to doing the work for it. But when RDOT comes through to expand the road, they're gonna have to take the drives out anyway, so there's an opportunity to consolidate and connect. So that's for your guys' consideration on if we should pursue that route. For lighting, additional parking lot lighting is being provided for the new parking spaces and to light the new dumpster area. The proposed trash enclosure will be constructed of brick or other material that matches the building. The gate will be a split style design with a metal frame and composite slats. The parking ratio is in your packet. Essentially, they need 117 parking spaces total, and they're providing 120. So to meet the parking requirements, they're giving an additional 25 spaces. And for the new parking, a landscape parking lot is provided for every run of 10 parking spaces. They're not proposing to add islands for the runs of parking that are over 10 that exist currently. A landscape buffer is being provided to the east, on the east property line that's adjacent to the Center Point subdivision. Additional landscaping is provided within islands as shown on the landscaping plan. For PC consideration, there is an opportunity for them to move the parking on the south 5 feet north to allow for a landscape buffer between the parking and the right of way as it is adopted in the new Title 15 landscape code. And then additional landscaping could be added between the parking and sidewalk in front of the building. And if you have any questions, we're happy to answer it.
From the city perspective, I definitely think the driveway is not a bad idea. The big question I have is there a access easement on, is it AutoZone? I mean, that's the question.
Yeah.
And then either way, it's a good example of why we should get these easements on the frontage. So I think, is that called out here? Yeah, they're doing the 20-foot easement. So that's good. Personally, I feel like if the AutoZone doesn't have it, I don't feel it's right to force them to be held hostage by AutoZone and have to acquire a shared access easement. Since it's not yours, you don't know, right?
Well, I don't know if they have the cross access easement. I do know that the developer himself doesn't necessarily want to get rid of his both drives.
I could.
I mean, we had one last week where we wanted the driveways to line up with what was across the road too, so I'm looking at this.
Difference is that's a brand new construction. This is
It's existing,
yeah.
but they're gonna take them out with the 102 expansion.
I don't know what she meant by that. What do you mean by take them out? Cause they're gonna take them out, but they're gonna rebuild them at the same time.
Yeah, but Lorene was saying that there's an opportunity when RDOT comes to expand, we could tell them where the new driveway should go. Instead of them putting them back where they are, they could put them in a different spot.
Plan for a shared driveway and then it's a 2-for-1. So it works in every
Down, they could move it over to align with that driveway.
There,
Yeah.
we got 3 extra spots.
Yeah.
You need 117, you got 120.
Did you find, is there shared access or not?
I don't have the file, I have to pull it from storage.
I'll see if I can find it on the county.
So with that, I will tell you, if you align it with Shane, I am all for it. The only thing I didn't look at, cause I knew they weren't planning on doing it, is it's gonna come to with Paul. Is if we shift that over with the way the islands are, we're gonna have to look at those radii and whatnot for fire access.
Let's make that hard.
Cause the way the building is right in the middle of it. So something that I didn't even consider this, Shane, cause I knew they didn't wanna do it. And their existing drives. So I predicate that with that. If you move to Shane, I'd be much happier with the safety. That's just something we're gonna have to go back and look at though.
I do know one of their main reasons for wanting to keep the 2 drives is just, I mean, I think you mentioned 120 parking plus 120 cars. Churches, you know, getting in, getting out and all that stuff. So the 2 drives would be very helpful to keep that circulation. safety wise and just accessibility wise. But I know that's one of their main reasons why they wanted to.
Is it one way in and one way out though?
I don't know.
It's not posted as such.
That just creates mass confusion, I think, more
Yeah,
than,
there you go.
I mean, I get it, but it's not your project, we won't blame you for it.
They have that shared
Just
access.
tell them it ain't gonna help. Ain't gonna-
They would still have another way out.
So yeah, stuff out for it, so.
I'm not necessarily for making them make the change, knowing there's change coming. But my question is, how do we plan for that? So that in the next year, 2 years, 3 years, whenever it does come to fruition, or hopefully not longer, then how do we get there? With some sort of plan or some kind of I'll call it an agreement we would need to put in place. So then RDOT's not arguing with us, right?
Do you all know how far out those RDOT plans are? Or is that just?
They're going through acquisitions and utility relocations have already started, so. I don't know exactly when it's going out for bid, but the assumption is they'll go out for bid next year to start.
Looking at there's 2 plats on the county and, the latest one's from '02. And it doesn't show any access.
Developed in '06, and I know that AutoZone, like,
Did they replat it?
that I'm not sure, so I'm looking. Or they did it by deed, maybe. So.
But here, if I was thinking Devin.
I'm with you. I mean, I think we can ask for it, but I'm with you. The problem is. You get rid of these 2, when RDOT comes through, you get 1 drive and then you have more on-site work to do. To make up the new parking. I can see why they wouldn't want to do that, but.
But I mean, I don't want to speak I don't want to speak for all of us, but I think I would rather. Not that I don't want them to have 120 parking spots, but if they came back and say, hey, we can only get to 115, but we're gonna get to a single, entrance and exit, then. I think we would probably be more in favor of that versus,
What about,
especially because you're gonna add more lanes. I mean, and that center lane is gonna fill up all the way down is what's gonna happen.
what about if they came back with a plan on how to integrate a single one? When RDOT comes, but I don't think there's anything to hold them or RDOT to that.
We could leave it as if there is a cross access. Then. Ask them to draw that for review. And at least have that. If there's no cross access, then. I think we would just, our want in the future would be that single, but understand what the impact would be. Does that make sense?
We're talking about on AutoZone.
No. on
Cross
these-
access on AutoZone.
well,
Well, would the fire department be okay with single access to this property?
It's
I mean, that's why you got 2.
Cross access easement, I still have, I'll be able to get in through AutoZone, so I still have.
Well, you'll have a turn, something. Get about turn lanes coming through.
Yeah.
Like Alan said, he'll go through and make sure that the turning radius works for us and.
To the bank.
All of that, we don't have to worry about. So.
Is that your idea, Jeff? Contingent?
I mean, and I don't. Yes, I mean, it really is. I think we need to think about that and, they're adding a lot of square footage. They're adding some additional parking. I think it just makes sense for us to plan like it was a newer development, but understand their constraints today. That's kind of where I'm leaning. And so you guys can say yes, you guys can say no. You have any additional thoughts that you might think is, would be beneficial? And if it doesn't work because of fire access, then we at least tried to do the, what we needed to do. That's my thoughts.
Look, I just wanna make sure I understand what you're saying. You're saying if there's cross access on AutoZone, that they should look at a redesign to one lane and connecting to that?
Correct.
Okay.
They don't have to construct it, but if we plan for that, then when RDOT comes in, then we've already done some of that work, right? And they can see, versus all of a sudden, there's amnesia, and whether it's a year or 2 years, whatever that looks like. That's where I'm leaning. And if there's not the cross access, then we don't have to worry about it.
I think that's fair.
If there's not the cross access, are you saying you allow the 2 drives?
Yeah.
We're also saying allow the 2 drives right now, correct?
Yeah.
And just planning ahead, thinking ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm sorry, I'm confused on that part. As far as we're okay with the 2 drives, but check for the cross access. If it's there, then you're gonna ask us to do the single drive. And if
Yes.
not, then we can continue on with the.
Yes.
I like it.
I mean, it worked out. We were lucky with Plaza Tire whenever we asked them to go to Walgreens. But they had only been there maybe 6 or 8 months. I don't know that the grass was even green yet, but I think with AutoZone being established, if it's not there, I think it becomes a little more difficult. And so that's kind of where I'm leaning. If it's there, then we would ask for that. At least that's what I'm proposing.
I agree.
So if that's the case, nobody has no questions or comments, then I would entertain a motion.
So I do have one thing, just with the landscaping recommendation there, how does everything we just talked about impact that? Or does it? Under landscaping with the Title 15 landscape code, the recommendation to allow a buffer.
So that's something Lorraine asked me to add into there. The only problem I see with making them scoot their parking up 5 feet is that they're gonna, that encroaches into their access drive.
I don't know that, that's not gonna work, 15-foot drive. Are we planting the green space where we can't? Yeah. So, yeah, so I think on that, we can plant some, well, there's no trees in utility easements, right? At all? Okay, well, that kills that deal.
You have shrubs though.
I think that's fair, and I think we asked for something in the 2 green space islands right there on the front, on the far left and in the middle. The like the parking area, you got a island on the left and an island on the right. If we could get some tall shrubbery, like some evergreen stuff. I know they make a green giant that is a shrub, but it's as big as a tree.
You say that, what's the root ball? Do you know, I want to know the depth on that?
Are you playing with me?
Oh, what the heck?
It's a shrub.
Alright, so it's still just the 2-foot ball.
The other place that there could be opportunity for landscaping is between the parking and the sidewalk just south of it. Yeah. There's nothing there.
Yeah.
Wide.
Yeah, because right now there's no landscaping up front.
Super minimal right now.
Say that again?
The landscaping that exists out on the site right now is very. There is something. It's not bad.
That one twig out there in the front.
Yeah, I would like to see, I mean, if there's anything up front possible at all, I think we need to have something that preserve the beauty of our town. But at the same time, how does that, okay, this is me asking a question, so when RDOT starts selling their stuff, how does that impact?
They should replace it if it's there.
They've acquired pretty much all the right of way, the easements they're gonna need for their expansion. They're going through that acquisition. Pretty sure they've done it with Reach already. That's why the dimensions for them don't meet the dimensions we'd have. Because RDOT's already given them, here's our impacts going north. So as long as we stay out of that, RDOT shouldn't touch these, anything you put in at all. Especially if you're on the north side of that parking, between the parking and the building.
And how many parking spots are we talking about right there?
7,
3, 4, 5, 6.
Susan Long, 7 up top.
Yeah.
That, you probably don't know what's in there. In the parking spots and the sidewalk, do you?
No.
Base.
Green space. But I don't know what.
And there can't be landscaping in that area?
Oh, they can.
Yeah, you guys just have to require it because this,
Say again?
you guys have to require any additional landscaping that's not shown. Cause right now, they submitted under our old code where you guys had to make all the landscaping decisions. They didn't have to follow the new Title 15 code.
I'd be in favor of with such a large addition, and especially it coming towards a street like that, that we need to abide by the current code.
So do they need to come back to us with a landscape, with additional landscape, or just allow staff to do it?
I would allow staff to do it. It's my opinion.
Where more landscaping? That's for approval.
Yeah, is that something that we can, one, go check if the access easement exists, and two, come back with the landscaping proposal?
If you have to come back, but we're trying to set it up where, let's say you don't have to come back. And you just want to add more landscaping, that should be able to be approved through staff, so you don't have to come back to planning.
Planting here wouldn't
That wouldn't, that
be
shouldn't.
an issue with an access easement, planting here in front of the building.
He's talking about redoing the plans and coming back with them.
Because if there is an access easement, it's gonna be a big design change there.
I think that can be approved too, though. By staff.
I'm saying that, but as far as I understand, the client absolutely doesn't want to get rid of their 2 drives.
I understand. So, my opinion is it can be approved by staff either way.
Will the issue become if they have to go to the access easement that they're short on parking and then they would have to
Potentially.
But we put that in there that when, if they lose a couple of spots.
But they're gonna gain spots where the 2 drives are right now, so that would be okay.
Whenever they lose, they're probably gonna gain back with eliminating one of the drives.
maybe they have
At least some
they have
degree.
8 or 9 spots over there and that would be direct to that access easement.
But as long as they're at
Yeah, but
117.
Yeah, you're 3 over right now. Plus you're gonna get 2 or 3 back by eliminating one of the drives.
Our goal is not to make you come back.
Yeah.
So as many questions we can clarify tonight that then the staff can approve. I think that's where the planning commissioners want to go. And spell out as much as we can. So with all of that being captured, are there any questions from staff?
The only other scenario I could think is if there is not an easement, if the city would go kindly ask for the easement and they give it to us, would that then? Does that do, if we're not putting the burden of getting the access easement on this person? Still making it.
Whatever y'all do in City Hall, we just said one has to exist. We didn't say how it.
That's all I needed.
Table there, how you get it.
Okay.
Between you and your lawyer, how you get it. Cause the video
It'd be shocking to happen, but
It is a.
It's still not there.
Alright, it was also 2006, so.
Went off for you can't refuse.
If there's no additional discussion, then I would entertain a motion for the development 2409 Reach Church, which is asking for a 5,000 square foot building expansion for the preliminary plans and adjacent street agreement.
this is Joey. I'll make a motion to approve development 2409 Reach Church. And I'll go over a few things we talked about. An additional large shrubs in the front in the island. and additional landscaping in front of the building, just north of the parking stalls. The other item that we discussed is verification on a cross-access easement on the AutoZone lot to the east. If that is in place and they can use it, then we would like them to come back with a single drive lined up with Shane. And adjust their design. If not, then we're good as is.
John will second.
Motion and a second. Is there anyone that's opposed?
Clarify, you said come back. Did you mean come back to planning commission or come back to staff?
Back to staff, excuse me, thank you.
Second.
Does he need to add language that adopts Title 15 landscape code? I know he asked for the additional, but does he need to include that language in that proposal?
Your current site, if you had them meet Title 15, they'd have to come back for a waiver. They couldn't meet it.
Okay, that's true.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Is there anyone that's opposed? All right, thank you. Thank you all. Nothing under other business?
I have an other business
Oh.
item.
No.
Can we just get like a brief summary of I was sick, I wasn't able to come last Tuesday to the council sewer thing. Was there anything that came out of that?
Anything riveting, Mayor Bill?
You didn't see it on Facebook? It's all right.
No. Is this why everybody's smiling right now?
Go read Facebook.
There's a 2 hour and 40 minute video that you could YouTube. We had a good discussion.
Cliff notes though.
Well, also Ally made a good post online that kind of summarized the two.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Yeah.
You had a good summary.
It was a good summary of it, but basically just to answer
Who are you?
I'm that guy. I'm that guy. That's a heart, by the way. But no, all kidding aside.
They did determine that again today.
Determine that. So we had a good discussion with the planning commission and also the council.
Water, sewer.
Yeah, I meant to say water and sewer. They said right here.
Put that on us.
Not on you, it's on water and sewer. Several concerns were brought up. We also had a developer here, had several questions. It sounds like from everything we talked to, we will still have capacity in December. Also, the city of Decatur is working to continue to expand their plan. They're not just stopping, they're already about 6-7 weeks into that next phase of that, see how far it can go. Cause after we get this capacity, we're gonna run out again,
It's not technically our capacity, right? Is there an agreement in place with Decatur that allocates any of this for Centerton?
We don't have any limits in the agreement. We have a formal contract with
Right, but they could give it to somebody
But
else.
they can,
them.
they could grow and kick us out pretty much, right?
They could, but we can also take it over too. There's provisions in the contract that we could take the plan over with a board and all this, so I don't think our lawyer's gonna let that happen.
Probably not.
No, he won't. But I think it'll be just fine. Sounds like Decatur, he has admitted that they haven't been watching what was going on their end. They are working to make this right. Another question that come up though was NACA. Do we want to go to NACA? Do we want to stay with Decatur? I brought up the cost factor. I know when I sat on the city council, we talked about NACA. And back then it was 4 times higher than what we're paying now. And I went in 2015, 2016, Mayor McCaslin brought me down to maybe sooner than that, but brought me down there and they told us it'd be $12.85 a thousand gallons just for treatment. And that's still, we pay $3.88. So that's quite a bit. And, I reminded the commission that this is a burden on the taxpayers, or not taxpayers, but the ratepayers, because they're the ones, so decision needs to be made. Are we gonna continue expanding with them? So that's all in the works. It sounds like, I don't want to speak for them, but it sounds like Decatur is still the best option. We still have, like I said, 20 more years in the contract, and sound like they want to work with it. So
Has anybody done the calculation on when this gets released, how much is left and how long that'll be good?
Lorraine put spreadsheets, I think, into your stuff.
I haven't made it to the Dropbox.
Lorraine and the mayor of Decatur came up with how many lots they have based off of Penn State standard 100 gallons per day and everything, where there's something around like 4,800 single family homes like and apartments proposed. And with that capacity, we'd be going right up to where their expansion is. With the rate study they're doing, or not the rate study, with the flow monitoring they're doing, what they've done before, they had it brought down. We're using closer to about 48. So you think if we're only using half, that 4,800 is really 9,500 lots. Cause really the permit lots there based on what's actually going in, not what's proposed with all of it, but they'll release them accordingly.
Has the monitoring started?
Yeah.
There's a monitor on one of these two buildings here.
Just for.
We don't need the building,
Just for rate.
the interceptor.
No, it's here, the grain gauge here.
So with the
So
monitoring, they need to have a large storm event to know how much leakage is getting into those lines. They're doing extra treat for the large storm events.
About a month into is what they said, right, Alan?
I-
I think there's at least a month in the next doing it again, so.
Yeah, so I mean, really, the plan is they're gonna go, I think it was into end of the year, just over. But the key is they have to hit a major rainfall event, so that'll extend it until we hit one.
That or the health department stated a year. 1 year. minimum.
Even then, with the year, they need a major rain.
For sure, you can model it though at that point with what you have.
They said that it has to be a rain event that falls it. Okay, so was it. That's what they said during the meeting and reiterate other times, so.
Yeah, I've lived this for 3 years. I understand it's not fun, but you'll get the rainfall.
Hey, did I miss anything?
Oh,
Huh?
pinch points?
Oh, yeah, we also talked about pinch points. Yeah, that was a big, one. Sorry about that. Yeah, you're right. And actually, the developer provided us the pinch points, which apparently we need to be looking at. They got a consultant hired to look at all this already. They being the commission, they had somebody working with, it. So we got them to the Malcolm and their engineers, and they're looking at that too, because even when they released capacity, that pinch point was a concern, so.
Gravity.
But so they're all working through it. And also, we're gonna start having somebody from water and sewer coming to our council meetings. Cause I think we could have avoided 4 hours of conversation if they would have came like they said they would. No, seriously, we would have avoided that second meeting, I think.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Maryville.
Chris, I got you. Chris?
Oh, that meeting was full of poop.
Yeah. Do you have a question, sir? Or do you want to address us?
Hey, guys.
No, that question also.
Oh, okay.
And I was trying to see the public information, can I take it with me? But it has, I'm Shekhar, like, we're representing the Silver Dreams. So what a question, like when Seaver may come, so just a suggestion, because I have read a lot of online, every night I read about something about Seaver. To see that instead of giving all at once, let's say from the priority standpoint, 100, my houses are also there, but let's say 100 houses in one, another 100, instead of that one, distribute so that city can grow as well. So that people can look into their development, let's say 25% each one of them. Only 4 slots are available. Instead of giving everything to one, give to 4 subdivisions. So
No, they've been waiting for 2 years longer or a year longer.
but somehow where we need to grow the city as well. I know that maybe like one person would grow and it would help like to city to blend with like more developments across. Just a thought, like I'm not saying that
Might be something to,
consider.
probably not anything we would decide, but. And I wouldn't want to be the one that tells the developer they have to blend in with other people. It'd be nice.
Yeah, except that they've already been approved.
Everyone's
Or you-
taking their.
And in some cities like California, they develop the storm farming where the city, these type of water go there and build some farming as well, because so many crops they can grow, but here we don't see that many people grow those things. But it can grow as a towards something which can just grow, flood that area, and a lot of good crops come up from there. Like I have like 25 suggestions, but I know that your time is precious. I will go through all of those.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, one thing I forgot to add, we also did bring up the capacity, or not the, but the waiting list. We won't be able to make that public to the developers and also, so that's supposed to be in the works too, so. I don't know when that's coming, hopefully soon, but it was certainly brought up. Sorry about that, I'd like to know.
All right, there's a council meeting on the 9th.
Yes.
Our planning commission meeting, in case you didn't see your email, was moved a week. It's now 9:23, and I believe John is going to be traveling because you guys changed the meeting.
I'll be out as well.
Ben's gonna be traveling. If anybody else will not be here, just let us know. And there's a tech review meeting scheduled for the 18th, which is before our next meeting. Anything else from staff? Anything else from any of the commissioners? If not, then I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion is second. Is there anyone that's opposed? Thank you, guys.
So working on getting the meetings.
Probably okay,
Send it to him.